Hello students. In the last video lecture, I explained you structure of ovule and various types of ovule and their examples. Today, I wanted to explain formation of embryo sac. In the given image, I have drawn immature ovule. I will tell you what is the meaning of immature ovule. This is a stalk of ovule, and stalk of ovule it is called as funicle, and here you can see this is a base of ovule which is called as chalaza, and this is outer integument and this is inner integument, and these two outer and inner integuments they forms covers of the ovule, and these covers of the ovules they are not fused and they leave a small minute gap, and this minute gap it is called as micropyle, which will be considered as opening of ovule. And inside the body of the ovule you can be able to see nutritive fertile tissue, and this nutritive fertile tissue it is called as nucellus. Students, I told you about funicle and I told you about chalaza, I told you about outer and inner integuments, and I also told you about the nucellus and micropyle, but something I did not explain. What is that? Embryo sac, it is missing in this. So the ovule which is not having this embryo sac, that is called as immature ovule. Hope you understand. The ovule in which the embryo sac which is not yet formed, that ovule is called as immature ovule. Such an immature ovule, at the time of the formation of embryo sac, one nucellus cell which is near to the micropyle it undergoes specialization. It may be 1,000 cells that is present in nucellus, but at the time of embryo sac formation only one nucellus cell, that too condition apply. What is the condition apply? That must be near to the micropyle only. So any one nucellus cell which is near to the micropyle it undergoes a specialization. That specialized nucellus cell at the time of embryo sac formation is called as megaspore mother cell, which is diploid in its condition. Such megaspore mother cell can be simply written as MMC. M means megaspore, another M means mother, last one C means cell. So megaspore mother cell which is diploid in its condition. Now such megaspore mother cell it undergoes meiosis. Here you will get one doubt. What is that? Sir, it is already specialized. That means the nucellus cell it is already specialized, and after specialization only it formed into megaspore mother cell. Again, why it is undergoing a special division called as meiosis? Students, here you need to understand very clearly one thing, that is always gametes must be haploid in their condition. Then only when they get fertilized and they form babies, and the babies they consisting of diploid cells, and babies are formed by the fertilization of male and female gametes. I'll tell you very easily. Let us take our body as an example. We all are formed by our mother and father. Father is producing sperm and mother is producing ova. Am I right? Whereas this sperm is having 23 chromosomes which are called as paternal chromosomes. Mother is having 23 chromosomes which are called as maternal chromosomes. Here 23 and there 23. And at the time of fertilization, paternal chromosomes, that means 23 chromosomes, maternal chromosomes which are also 23 chromosomes, they undergoes fertilization in the form of zygote. They will join. So the zygote it consisting of 23 plus 23. So 23 pairs of chromosomes that are present in our body. But our body it is formed by gametes, that is sperm and ova. So always gametes must be in haploid condition, whereas after fertilization they have to attain diploidity. That is the reason why megaspore mother cell, it has to undergo meiosis, then only it can be able to form the haploid gametes. You understand it? If you don't understand, please ask me. I'll explain you again. You can WhatsApp me or you can message me also. Now, this megaspore mother cell, which is diploid in its condition, it undergoes meiosis. By meiosis, how many cells will be formed? You must be knowing what is meiosis. What is mitosis? Mitosis, it is called as equal or equational division. That means it exactly divides the cell into half. Whereas here in meiosis, four cells are formed. Here, how many cells are formed? One, two, three, four. Did you notice it or not? And these four cells are having reduced number of chromosomes. That means what? One cell, let us just for example, I am telling you, one cell which is having 100 chromosomes. If that 100 chromosome cell, if it undergo mitosis, it is called as equal division. So what happens? During interphase, the number of chromosomes will be doubled. So during interphase, because of the doubling of the chromosomes, the daughter cells which are having 100 and 100 chromosomes. Why? Because in mitosis, always equal number of chromosomes will be distributed from the parent cell. Whereas in meiosis, what happens? The cells, they take only the reduced number of chromosomes. That means one cell, when it is forming four cells, each cell, it is having half number of chromosomes. Here 50, here 50, here 50, and here 50. So this is the reason why meiosis, it is called as reduction or reductional division. That is the reason why half of the number of chromosomes will be reduced. That means, see, let us consider, just only for example I am telling you, this is a mother cell. It is having 100 chromosomes. Let us take, it is having 100 chromosomes. When it is undergoing interphase, in interphase what happens? The number of chromosomes will be doubled. So let us take, in this 200 chromosomes are formed due to the interphase. Now when it undergoes division, four cells are formed. So in this 50 cells, in this 50, I'm really sorry, a small correction, in this 50 chromosomes, in this 50 chromosomes, in this 50, and in this 50. That means parent, it is having 100 chromosomes, whereas when it comes to the daughter cells, only 50, 50, 50, 50 chromosomes. That means the number of chromosomes are reduced to half. That's why meiosis is called as reduction or reductional division. Hope you understand. By meiosis, four cells are formed, but only one cell, it forms embryo sac. Sir, what about remaining three cells? These three cells, did you notice? Can you see these three lines? That means these three lines indicating the remaining three cells are getting degenerated. They do not participate in the formation of what? Embryo sac. Hope you understand. The remaining three cells are degenerated, and only one haploid cell, it forms a embryo sac. It forms the embryo sac, and this condition, it is called as monosporic. Here I clearly wrote, it is called as monosporic. That means out of four cells, only one cell, it is participating in the formation of embryo sac. Hence it is called as monosporic. Some cases, of course it is very rare, just for your idea I am telling you, in some cases two cells participate in the embryo sac formation, only two cells will degenerate, then that is called as bisporic condition. And in some other cases, three cells participate in the embryo sac formation and only one cell degenerate, then that is called as trisporic. And in very rare, to be frank, rarest conditions, all the four cells, they form embryo sacs, then that is called as a tetrasporic conditions. But friends, remember, In 99 percentage cases, only one cell undergoes embryo sac formation, remaining three cells they degenerate. That's why 99% of the plants embryo sac formation can be described as monosporic. Hope you understand. Now, that only one cell, which is haploid cell, which is having haploid nucleus. So here, this is what haploid nucleus. Now this haploid nucleus, it undergoes one karyokinesis. Hope you know karyokinesis means this is actually not an English word. It is actually derived from Greek word. Karyot means nucleus and kinesis means division. Karyot, nucleus, kinesis means division. So karyokinesis, nuclear division. So it undergoes first karyokinesis. Now see, I'll show you the image. Now this nucleus, it undergoes first karyokinesis. So how many cells are formed? Two cells are formed here, the upper cell and the lower cell, and again they undergoes a second karyokinesis. So this is second karyokinesis. Now towards chalaza there are two nuclei, and towards micropyle there are two nuclei. Now it undergoes a third karyokinesis. Now towards chalaza there are four nuclei, and here four nuclei. That means here means towards micropyle there are four nuclei. So totally how many nuclei you can count? 1, 2, 3, 4. Towards chalaza, 1, 2, 3, 4. Towards micropyle. So towards chalaza 4 and towards micropyle 4. And these 8 nuclei are formed in how many karyokinesis? Friends, you remember? This is first karyokinesis, this is second karyokinesis, and this is third karyokinesis. So 3 karyokinesis results in the formation of 8 nuclei. First karyokinesis. Now, this is the initial cell. Only one nucleus. See, black dot. I am showing it also. Black dot. This is only one nucleus. It undergoes first karyokinesis. So how many are formed? 2. You can see it now. Now it undergoes a second karyokinesis. Here it undergoes second karyokinesis. This also undergoes second karyokinesis. So here 2, here 2. And third karyokinesis may this undergoes karyokinesis 4, and this also undergoes karyokinesis. So here 4. So 3 kinesis, 8 nucleus are formed. Here you remember 8 nuclei because I need it. Out of this 3, sorry, I'm really sorry, a small correction. Out of this 4 of chalaza side and 4 from micropyle, from both the ends, one nuclei it start migrating towards center. Here, from here 1, and from here 1. See here, you can see. That means one it is migrating towards the center. So here how many will be left? 3 will be left. And from here also one it is migrating to the center. So here how many are left? 3 are left. And this is also haploid, this is also haploid. See, 2 haploid, and these 2 haploids, they are fusing to form secondary nucleus or polar nucleus. That is the reason why polar nucleus, it will be diploid in its condition. Why? Because it is formed by the fusion of one nuclei towards chalaza side and one nuclei towards the micropyle side. That's why 2 haploid cells or nuclei, they are fusing to form polar nucleus. This polar nucleus, it will be diploid, and remaining are not fusing. That's why these remaining are haploid. Understanding it? So the upper 3, they forms antipodals. See here 3 are there now, they are forming antipodals. So these are antipodals. And antipodals, so many times I told you in your regular class, antipodals, they are meant for nutrition. They give or supply food to the developing egg cell. And this is polar nucleus. Of course, polar nucleus, it is also called as secondary nucleus. It is a diploid. Why it is diploid also? Just 2 minutes back only I explained, because it is formed by the fusion of 2 nuclei, one from chalaza side, one from the micropyle side. So it is diploid. And towards the micropyle, 3 cells are remaining now. In this 3 cells mein, one cell it is forming egg cell, which is a haploid one, and remaining 2 cells, they are forming synergids. See, I wrote it here, synergids. And synergids are characterized by filiform apparatus. Students, you can see it here. It is like our fingers. Did you notice this finger like apparatus are called as filiform apparatus? And filiform apparatus are very, very important. Why? Filiform apparatus, they guide the male gamete to fertilize with egg cell at the time of fertilization. If a filiform apparatus is not there, then the male gamete cannot be able to guide towards this egg cell. It will go somewhere and fertilization do not takes place. So fertilization is taking place with the help of guidance given by the filiform apparatus. It is guiding this particular male gamete to reach only the egg cell. Hope you understand. This is a way they helps in fertilization. Hope you understand. And this synergids ka function is, they are having special characteristic called as special characteristic structure called as filiform apparatus, which guide the male gamete towards the egg cell so that fertilization it takes place. And polar nucleus, after fertilization it is producing endosperm. Endosperm, it is also the reserve food material that provides nutrition to the zygote, because egg cell after fertilization it converts into zygote. Zygote also need food material. So for that, the polar nucleus after fertilization it is forming embryo, I'm really sorry, endosperm, which provides nutrition to the egg cell. Now, whatever I explained till now, I will summarize it by showing a small flow chart. Now, the microspore mother cell, it undergoes meiosis and forming 4 cells which are present in a linear strand. Linear means straight strand. So a linear tetrad of megaspores are there. And out of these 4, as I already told you, 3 disappears. You remember na? 3 disappears and only 1 remains. And only 1 remains which forms the embryo sac. That's why our embryo sac can be described as monosporic. Now, this remaining cell, it is called as functional megaspore mother cell. It is called as functional megaspore mother cell, whereas it undergoes enlargement. This one cell which is remaining, it enlarges in its size and it undergoes 3 successive karyokinesis without any cytokinesis. And in the first mitotic karyokinesis, 2 cells are formed. If you want, I'll show it again. First division, 2 nuclei. Now, second mitotic division, 4 cells are formed. See again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now again, third mitotic karyokinesis, 8 cells are formed. Again, I'll show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 towards chalaza. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is towards micropyle. So 8 cells. Now, by 3 karyokinesis, it formed 8 cells. And out of these 8 cells, 4 towards chalaza region and 4 towards micropyle region. In this 4 towards chalaza region, 3 cells are forming antipodals. I'll show it again. 3 cells are forming antipodals. And 1 cell, it is migrating towards center. And out of 4 cells from micropylar region, 1 cell, it is forming egg cell, 2 cells, they are forming synergids, and 1 cell, it is migrating towards center. See, 1 cell, it is forming egg cell, and 2 cells are forming synergids, and 1 cell, it is migrating. And from here 1 cell is migrated, and from here 1 cell is migrated, and they migrates towards center and fuses to form secondary nucleus. And secondary nucleus, after fertilization, it forms the endosperm, and egg cell, after fertilization, it forms the zygote. So this is how the embryo sac it is formed. Hope it is clear, but still if you have any doubts, you can WhatsApp me or message me. Thank you so much, students.